Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back. Today, I want to share with you my 5 must-have crystals for any witch, whether you are new to the craft or you've been at it for a while. I do want to begin by prefacing that this is my personal preference. Everyone has different preferences, your desires, your needs, what you like to do with your crystals, how you like to practice your craft will all change what crystals you want to work with, if you even want to work with crystals. It is not a necessity for you to work with crystals. If you don't like them, perfectly fine. So before I get into my top 5, I do want to suggest a few ways for you to look at getting crystals when you start adding them to your collection. I want you to think of 3 different things. The first thing is this appealing to me? Do you like the color of it? Do you like the sheen? Do you like how it feels? Do you like the energy that it has when you hold it in your hand? All of these things are valid. If you don't like the color, if you don't like how it feels, if you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. You don't need to use that crystal. The second thing is, what do you want to do with the crystals? If you want to add crystals for protection, those would be different crystals than if you wanted to add crystals to strengthen your intuition or to work with during meditation. Different crystals different circumstances, different intentions call for different crystals. And the third thing I want you to consider is, how do these crystals fit into your current practice? If your practice has nothing to do with crystals, then it's okay to not use them. If you prefer divination, or if you prefer kitchen witchery and you have no interest in maybe say more earth magic or just working with crystals, it's okay to not need them. And if your spell work consists mostly of kitchen witchery in the kitchen and you can't think of how you could apply crystals to that situation, that's okay. I mean, I can help you. I can tell you how to use crystals in kitchen witchery, but you don't have to. If you don't see them fitting into your practice, that's okay. So let's get into my top 5. My favorite crystal by far is amethyst. As you could probably tell, my whole online persona is based around amethyst. My real name's not Amethyst Moon. My name's Amy, but it's okay. I have been working with amethyst for a very long time. It is actually the first crystal that I was ever introduced to. I am a February baby. My birthstone is amethyst. I have had amethysts in my life for as long as I can remember. I have a necklace that was my grandmother's, my great-grandmother's. It's been in my family for a while. That has little stones of amethyst on it. And I've had that for a very long time. This is probably one of my favorite amethyst crystals. I got it from a local New Age shop, and it is absolutely beautiful. But I do want to show you some other kinds of amethyst. So this is a raw amethyst point, but I do also have polished amethyst points, different sizes, different colors. And these are great to have in the middle of a crystal grid, or when you want to really direct energy. This one actually works really well as a wand because it's pointed, it's long, it's thin. You can really use it to direct energy. I have this little sliver of amethyst, which actually was a bigger piece, and it actually had a dinosaur on it. But it broke, and this is all that I have left. Those you can find quite often, as coasters. I see them all the time at our science center. I have this amethyst geode, which it's actually a very pale amethyst geode, but I really like it because I feel like it is softer. I would like to get a large amethyst geode, but this is the only geode I have so far. There is an amethyst mine just outside of Thunder Bay in Ontario, and next time we drive through Ontario, which, I mean, that's not going to be anytime soon. We did it over a year ago, but when we drove through, it was late and the mine was closed. I'd love to go there and actually look in the mine and find my own amethyst. But I also have all of these little pieces of rough amethyst. I love these. I will give them away as gifts. Like, I'll tuck them into things. I'll use these in crystal grids. I've got little chunks of amethyst like this kind of all over my house. I put them in my planters. They're very useful for me. So let's talk about amethyst. It is a crystal that is known for balancing mood. It is also known to open up your third eye or your intuition, connecting with your intuition, your higher self. It can help to activate spiritual awareness and also helps to relieve stress. Those are just a few of the properties of amethyst. I plan on doing a whole series going more into crystals with a video dedicated to each of these crystals. So this is just going to be a very quick overview. So those are just a few of the properties of amethyst. The next crystal that I want to recommend to you is Aventurine. And this is not a crystal that I see recommended very often. It's not one of the most popular crystals, but it's one besides amethyst that I have worked with probably the most, again, besides amethyst, and is one that I've had great success with. So this is, I love this stone. So this is a raw aventurine piece. And the story behind this, so my husband was actually away for work at a big city in our province, and he was in a mall, saw that there was a new age store in there that was closing, and they had their crystals on sale. So he called me, asked me what I wanted, and I said I wanted a piece of aventurine. This was 7 years ago, probably. So he said, like, okay, they have it. What size do you want me to get? And I said, oh, just, maybe like a toonie sized piece, something not too big, because I didn't know how much it was going to cost. He paid $1 for this. I would have had him buy the whole collection they had of aventurine if I had known it was going to be so inexpensive. But this is the piece that he picked out for me, and I carry this exact stone with me when I'm feeling nervous about something, if there's something that I want to, go, I don't want to say go my way, but when I want to encourage the energies to go a certain way. Aventurine is really good for luck and prosperity. And so I do like to carry it. Every time my husband has had a job interview or something like that, I would take actually a piece of aventurine. So this is just a polished piece of aventurine, and I'll put this in the car, or I'll give it to him, tell him put him in his pocket, for luck and prosperity. Because it is green, it's also associated with money and wealth. So I do also have an aventurine point, which again is something that I will use when I'm doing crystal grid work. I really wish I had like a big aventurine point, but I haven't found one that had the right energy yet. But aventurine would be my second crystal I would recommend. The third crystal that I want to recommend is selenite, or more specifically, satin spar. Selenite and satin spar are both gypsum, but they are actually quite different. This is typically known as selenite, but more accurately, it's satin spar. Selenite actually comes in more like plates, and they're quite clear. They're quite rare. So this is a large piece of selenite that I have. I also have a large selenite lamp, which I have on my altar. I will link that video. That's actually on my other channel, but I have an altar video I just put up where you can see my selenite lamp. I like selenite because it's good to clear blocked energy. It promotes peace and calm. It promotes clarity of the mind. I also like to use selenite. I will take another crystal. This is just a quartz, and I will put them on that. You can barely see that because of the color difference, or because it's the same color. This is the next crystal I'm going to talk about. But I'll just put it on there to really help clear the energy of the crystals if they've been used a lot. Selenite's also really good for connection, both in person and to the spirit realm. So for intuition. So you could use selenite in combination with the amethyst that we talked about earlier. But it's just a great crystal. It is very pretty and I really like it. The fourth crystal I want to talk about is one for protection, and that is, like you saw earlier, black tourmaline. So I only have a few of my pieces of black tourmaline. I actually have a really dense piece of tourmaline that I got from a gem and mineral show, but it's occupied at the moment. So this is one of my favorite pieces. This you'll see during my readings quite frequently. This is just one that I like to keep out on my desk to have a nice protected area spiritually. Again, tourmaline is great for protection. It's also great for grounding. It can be used as a psychic shield, and it is also great for invoking a sense of peace because of its protection and grounding properties. So you can get big pieces like this, or you can get, usually fairly inexpensively, especially at gem and mineral shows, just rough pieces of tourmaline like this that have broken off other pieces. And I like to have these, and I use these to quarter my house. That sounds weird. If you don't know what it is, it's basically you put a piece of tourmaline at each corner, each quarter of your house. Depending on the orientation of your house, you can put it at all the directions, so north, south, east, west, or you can put it at the four corners of your house. Bury them in the ground, put them in the corner of like the rooms, depending on what you have access to. So I like pieces like this because then if I drop them on the ground or if I bury them outside, these are, oh my goodness, they are jumping. These are fairly inexpensive, and if I bury them and then I can't find them when we move, I'm okay with that. I also have this pendant, which has a hair on it. This is a wire-wrapped piece of tourmaline, and it's actually got quartz on it as well. Quartz and tourmaline are actually crystals that you will find combined quite often, but tourmaline is great for putting into a pendant, and you can then wear this for protection when you go out. You could also take the Aventurine and put it into a pendant if you wanted to do that. I usually just carry mine in my pocket, but pendants are really quite good. Now, like I said, you also find tourmaline and quartz together quite often. So here I have two quite different tourmalated quartz. So this one is primarily quartz with a teeny tiny little bit of tourmaline in it. Whereas this one is, well, it's still primarily quartz, but it has a lot of tourmaline inclusions in it. You can just see it's little tiny fragments of tourmaline. So this is great because you get the benefits of quartz and the benefits of tourmaline. But speaking of quartz, that is my fifth and final crystal to recommend to you today. So you can find quartz in all sorts of different ways. You can find little polished gemstones quite easily. I've seen these at little knick-knack kind of shops. You can find these at craft stores. You can find these all over the place. These little polished pieces of quartz. Very easy to find. You can also get quartz clusters. I love this one. It's got so many little pieces of quartz coming off of it. And then you can get pieces. This is actually a double quartz, but these are double terminated, meaning they've got points at both ends. And you can get fairly clear quartz. Like if you look at this one, it doesn't have much in terms of inclusions at the tip. But if you look at this one, there's a whole bunch, like it's almost foggy in places because there's all sorts of different cracks and stuff in them. And I personally like to have my quartz with character. That's what I'm going to call it. It has character. I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be very natural looking, like my amethyst. Like you can get polished amethyst. You can get polished amethyst spheres. You can get polished quartz spheres. I don't really like that. I like the points like this for crystal grids because it points the energy in one direction. But I usually prefer something like this or like this. So quartz, why would you want it in your collection? Well, quartz is great because it amplifies energy, and it can also be used as a replacement for almost any other crystal. If you only had room for one crystal in your collection, most people would suggest quartz because it can be used for almost anything. It really will take on the energy and the intention that you give it. Now, would I suggest it as the only one to, it really depends on what you want to do with it. If you want to do a whole bunch of things, if you can only afford one crystal, then I would probably go quartz. But I do find being specific, like if you want protection and that is what you want, I don't think quartz is necessarily the way to go. If you want to, connect with your psychic abilities, I don't think quartz is the way to go. But as a general all-purpose kind of crystal, yes, quartz is the way to go. If you're just getting into it and you don't know if you're going to like crystals, then quartz is quite easy to find. It's accessible and it can do a lot. Like I was saying, it is good for amplifying energy. It can take on the properties of the intention that you put into it. It can be good for using as a wand to set your intention into other things. It is good for clarity, especially clear stones. Good for clarity. But in general, it is just a very well-rounded stone. I have a lot of, this hand is not working today. I'm sorry. I have a lot of these kind of quartz, all approximately the same size, and I use them for crystal grids. That's primarily what I use my quartz for, is for gridding and for amplifying the energy of other crystals that I put it with. So on its own, for me, quartz isn't something that I reach for quite often. but in combination with a lot of other stones, I love quartz. So to wrap up this video, amethyst, aventurine, black tourmaline, selenite, and quartz. Those would be my top 5 must-have crystals. Some honorable mentions would be things like pyrite, fluorite, citrine, rose quartz. There's a lot of other crystals which I think are very valuable, and if you want to work with crystals, I think you should have in your collection. But these are the 5 that I work with the most. Again, I do want to do a whole series dedicated to each of these crystals. So if you want to see those videos, make sure you stick around by hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss those videos. If there's any other topics specifically about crystals that you want to know about, I do plan on doing best crystals for meditation and best crystals for other things. So if you have any, what do you want to do? Do you want to do best crystals for protection? Best crystals for wealth and prosperity? Let me know down in the comments which ones you want me to talk about, because I plan on doing all of these things, but if there is a demand for a certain topic, then I will do that first. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Love, light, and happiness to all of you. Bye.